All right. I'm pretty sure this is recording. Uh, Welcome. Um, I am commonly bacon. This is my first time making like a video for video's sake. So forgive me if it's shit. Um, but this is a review on Borderlands 4. Back there. It's there. You can see it. I can see it. Um, let's just start with let's just go from the start, right? Overall, pretty fucking good. You know, um, I enjoyed like the main gameplay. It was fucking great. Um, the gunplay, like, fantastic. I love the movement. The grapple hook was really good. I played Vex, the Siren. As you can see in the background, it says that I'm only 92% of the way through the campaign, but that's just Ultimate Vault Hunter mode stuff, which I haven't done yet. But I've defeated the Timekeeper, done like the main shit. Um, Now, let's start with the good. Okay, let's start with the good. The gameplay, fucking top of the line. It's I think the best gameplay Borderlands has ever really had. Um, and like this is my first review, so I don't really know what to get into. The movement feels nice, the gunplay feels nice. The grenades, there's like a whole bunch of variety. It's not just like standard grenade. It's like there's like throwing knives, like rocket launchers. Rocket launchers are now an ordnance, not a gun, um, which is an interesting change, but not one I'm opposed to. Uh, and they can be really fun. Um, but let's get into some of my complaints first, and we'll figure out the good in the middle, right? I don't really have like a plan for this. All I know is that spoilers will be towards the end. I'll probably put a warning before I get to spoiler territory. Um, but loot and economy wise, in the older Borderlands games, now don't get me wrong, I haven't played a lot of them. Well, I've played Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 3 and pre-sequel, but I've only completed Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 3. And even then, I only completed them once. Or maybe I completed Borderlands 2 each. 3 twice. Can't remember. Um, but, like, money always did kind of have a use, Vending machines sold pretty good shit. Um, and there was always, like, slot machines. Uh, in this game, that's not really the case. At a certain point, money just becomes useless. Money's pretty much useless from the start, honestly. Um, because like it only costs like 20k to redo a boss fight, and chances are you'll make more selling the loot anyway. Um, and most of the vending machines sell only common to uncommon stuff. At least that was like my experience, and I was playing from day one, so maybe a patch has fixed this by now. By the time you're seeing this, um, but the vending machine loot was atrocious. I only bought like a total of 5 guns, 6, between 5 to 7, I think. Um, from vending machines. The rest was just looting. Uh, so the economy is kind of useless. I never spent iridium. I don't know what it's for. I haven't looked it up, but I just don't know what it's for. I have a lot of it. I'm pretty sure. I just never used it. Um, and the loot itself. So apparently they were going a lot for making legendaries rarer, right? Because in Borderlands 3 they were everywhere. Uh, they also made purples rarer. The problem is that I was like level 30, and as you can see, the max is level. Hold it's up there. Is level 50. Over halfway through the game, I was still mostly getting greens and blues. Um, and like, in my personal opinion, in my personal opinion, vaults and shit like that should always hold something big. There should be a guaranteed legendary in a vault. It's a fucking vault. Storyline wise, vaults are like massive things. There's a reason why they're called vault hunters, right? It's a big fucking thing. So, imagine my surprise when... So there are these things called primordial vaults, which are like side quest vaults. Which almost kind of felt a bit disingenuous to the whole Vault Hunter thing, but I think there is a canon reason for it, so it's not like wrong. But imagine my surprise when I killed 3 vaults, like vault monsters, right, in 3 separate vaults, and looted those separate vaults, and didn't get a legendary once. Not once. Not in the chests, not from the dead enemy, and not from the rewards for killing it. Actually, maybe I got 1 legendary. And even from the loot drop, there was like 5 purples, I think, in general. They've really made the loot hard to come by to get like really good shit. Which does make legendaries feel rewarding, but also kind of like, I was convinced they kind of just didn't exist for a while. They've also removed like the quest specific guns, which really annoys me. Because like, I always loved those. They were always quirky, you know, especially the ones with like the little red text. For example, there's a mission with Genevieve, which you may remember from Borderlands 3 in Eden 6, I think. And like, I thought that it would be really cool if we could put her in a gun and have like a Genevieve gun that would like talk to us and shoot her. So that's not a thing because there's no quest specific guns. Or if they are, I've not seen them. So yeah, there's no guns that talk to you. No like guns with like the neat little writing. The legendaries have the red writing, but there's no like quest specific guns. What else is there? Alright, main story. To keep it vague for the sake of, I want this, like, this is still, like, the overlook, right? I'll go into everything specifically. I've got notes here. The overall story, for me personally, didn't care, really. Like, I played it because it had stuff. But overall, didn't really stick with me, you know. Up until the end. Towards the end, like the last few hours, it got really good, right? The last, I'd say, 10 hours, things started to really heat up. Once you, yeah, about the time you get all the bolts, which you'll know what those are once you play the game. Once you get all the bolts, things really start to heat up. I won't get into that yet, because spoilers. God, the frame rate is awful on my camera. Sorry. Alright. Sorry, give me a second. Okay, performance. So, a lot of people are having performance issues. I didn't really have performance issues. Now granted, I am a special case. I was with a 5080, and I had DLSS and all that on, because I don't understand enough about computers to understand why people hate it. It made the frames better. I was getting like 200 at times, so worked for me. But I understand people don't want to use DLSS, or some people have worse systems, and that's unfortunate, you know. They should have optimized the game better. I'm not saying the game is good. Like, the game is well optimized. It is not. It should have been optimized way better. The fucking, what's his face in charge? Pitchford is a moron. So I had minimal issues, a few crashes, some stuttering. If you watch my streams, you can see that like at points it just like froze for a few moments. Sometimes half the dialogue was missing. That was fucking wild. And yeah. So yeah, let's get into like the vaults, right? So like just like general vault stuff. The vaults were in the previous games. The vaults were like the big thing, right? Like, oh my god, it's a fucking vault. You know, this is the shit that raised. I think it was Atlas or Hyperion. One of the vaults basically made a corporation into like a mega corp overnight, right? I think it was Atlas, because I think Atlas paid Typhon de Leon. Anyway, but yeah, here they're like side activities. There's like one in every region, and you just like go do side stuff, and then get the vault parts, assemble a key, put it in, go kill a boss, loot. Which kind of felt a bit like wrong, especially with how shitty the loot was, if I'm being honest. And I was playing as a siren, right? So I was expecting like big, you know, like story beats, emotional payoffs, right? And at the end of every vault, there's like this glowing orb, right, that you can like take, like you take power from it. So as the siren, I was expecting it to be like something like phase whatever the fuck, or maybe just like a health increase or something like that. It's a fucking jetpack upgrade. All of them that I got. I don't know if it's like random or not, but all of them that I got were jetpack upgrades. Which kind of felt a bit fucky, you know? Like, jetpack upgrades? That's all? So yeah, it was like a bit disappointing. However, the Watcher is there, and you can find Evocariums from Nereid if you care about the story, which I do care about the story. The overall Borderlands story. This one specifically, not so much. I'll get into why later. Actually, let's get into that now. Why we're here. While we're here. Now, this won't be spoilerish. I'll keep it pretty vague. I'll just like describe the enemies. I won't describe what happens to them or how you fight them, because let's be real, you fight the bad guy. It's game. But I'll keep it vague. So there are 4 main bad guys. 4 main bad guys. 1 per region. There's Callus, Soul, Vile Lictor, and Timekeeper. Right? These are the 4 main big bads. I think Soul was probably the weakest, which is unfortunate because he's the opening guy. He's like the opening act. He should be pretty good. I didn't really care about this guy, you know. He really meant nothing to me. Then there was Callus. She's cool. I like her. She was fun. She was interesting. Vile Lictor, he was alright. Timekeeper, okay. I've seen on like some forums and social media and stuff that people actually don't mind the Timekeeper. I don't care for him, to be honest. Like, he never really did anything to me up until like towards the end that really gave me a reason to hate him, you know? It felt very like, oh, he's a bad guy. It's like, okay. So, obviously he's a bad guy. He's the antagonist. It's like, oh, he likes to control people. Yeah, bad guy. Nothing special. It's not that he's a bad guy. It's just that he's not special, you know? I'll explain the thing that he does later that does make him kind of cool, but that's spoiler territory. But yeah, like, I just didn't care about him, you know? Occasionally he'd pop in and, like, he didn't have the charisma of Handsome Jack. Even the Calypso twins, and I know that they are very disliked in the community, even they gave me a reason to hate them, you know? Like, personally, the whole cringe humor thing, I didn't, like, hate it. I just, whatever, right? But, like, they took Lilith's power in Borderlands 3. So, like, from my perspective, I was like, okay, fuck these guys. We're gonna kill them. We're gonna kill them dead. The Timekeeper never really does that. Like, there's this guy, RJ, you meet at the start. He's the guy who rescues you from the Timekeeper. and you know him for like an hour ish, and then he dies. Um, and that's supposed to be like one of the things that like makes you hate him. And I was like, okay, well, he's, yeah, you know, like, don't really care. We don't know him for that long. Um, Now, there are cameos, from characters from other games you may have seen. I think they were in the trailer, so I don't think it's a spoiler. Um, but Amara is back, the Siren from Borderlands 3. She's fun. I like her. Zane is back. I like him. The other two characters don't show up. Mose and Flack don't. Um, which is unfortunate. Moxie does, though. Hell yes. Fucking love Moxie. And Claptrap, obviously. Uh, best bot. Um, Now, their quests were the ones I cared about the most. Now, like, okay, so in each region, there are groups. In the first region, the Fade Fields, I think it's called, there are the Outbounders, right? They're pretty alright, you know. But Rush is basically Borderlands dad. Oops, sorry. He's basically Borderlands dad. Sorry, my fucking mic's all. It keeps trying to twist its way back. He's Borderlands dad. So like, he's alright. He's pretty cool. God, my mic balance is gonna be all over the place. I apologize. Then in, oh shit, what's it called? I don't know, some other place. There's the Carcadia Bones right there. There's the Electi. I really like the Electi, especially Levane. Levane, she's pretty, and she's classy. I like it. And Moxie's in Carcadia Bone as well, so big plus. And then there's the other place. I've already forgotten the name. Granted, I am a very forgetful person. That doesn't really say much. But there's a whole bunch of miners, the pickaxe type, not the underage type. And basically there's this generic bad guy who like thinks he's a god. He's like all like into robotness. And that's pretty sick, but again, I'll keep it fake. And I've already forgotten the guys in charge of them because it's kind of just forgetful. Like, I didn't really like hanging around that area too much. It's not a bad map design, that area, but I just didn't care for him. And then there's Dominion City, which, the worst by far. Dominion City is just not it, chief. In fact, let's get into the maps, right? So we've got Promethea. Not Promethea, sorry, that's Borderlands 3. I have a reason for thinking about Borderlands 3, I'll explain. So, in this one, the map kind of sucks. In my personal opinion, the map kind of sucks. Now, my reason for saying that is that, like, Pandora was unique. There was plenty of different biomes. You know, there was like I don't know how to explain it. Like, I don't know what's missing, but something's missing. Pandora had a soul. You know, you knew Pandora when you were in Pandora. Borderlands 3 especially, I fucking loved Borderlands 3 maps, because there was like Sanctuary 3, there was Promethea, there was Eden 6, there was Pandora, I think you go to, and I'm not sure if there was another planet or not, I can't recall, I've played Borderlands 3 in a while, but here it's just Kairos, you know, and there's like 3 regions, one's a desert, one's green, one's got snow, one's a city. And, like, I just don't care about Kairos, you know? Like, it has nothing special, you know? It feels really underdone. There's a lack of, like, the zones don't really feel unique. I don't know. I don't know what is wrong, but something is wrong. I wish I did know, but I don't. Um, but yeah, I found myself missing Borderlands 3 a lot, while playing this game. Not that this game is bad. This game is very nice. Um, Also, big problem in my personal opinion. There's no hub. Sanctuary 3 does not exist. There is no new Sanctuary. There are 3 hubs there's one in each region, right? Problem, I don't feel special, you know? Like, in Borderlands 3 and Borderlands 2, there was Sanctuary. You know, insert number here for which number. Sanctuary always felt like home. There was a place to go. You know, it's like, oh, I just killed the Vault Monster on Eden 6. Time to go back to Sanctuary and see what the crew are up to, you know, see what Lilith is up to, or Moxie is up to, or Ellie is up to, or Marcus is up to. You know what I mean? There's a place you go back, you had your own room that you could decorate. Here there's nothing. And, like, the crew are there, ish, but, like, it doesn't feel like a home, you know? It's not even really a mission hub, to be honest. So, like, yeah, there's no home, it's just... eh. Now, stuff to keep in mind, right? Just a thing to keep in mind when you play this game. Fighting Idolater Soul fills up like a third of that progress bar over there. Do not worry. Do not worry. That is not a lot. For some reason, the progression jumps massively when you kill Soul, but, like, it doesn't, like, it's not as much as it looks, right? For example, it took me, like... No, I guess it was around 50 hours. I don't know, maybe something about it. Soul feels really fast, but the game is overall pretty long. 57 hours played. And that's including a lot of side quests as well. And I'm pretty much completed the game. I haven't done all of Dominion City's main quests, or side quests, or the place with the augurs, that's what they're called. Because I just stopped caring. They just weren't interesting. But yeah, the game's pretty long. It felt short to me, but I enjoyed it. I want to specify, there are a lot of problems with this game, in my opinion. I still did enjoy it a lot. It was still very fun to play. Now, let's get into the actual story. This is spoiler territory, alright? This is spoiler territory. So I'm going to just lay out what happens, the important bits. If you don't want that, probably leave now. Just a warning. Okay? You had a sufficient warning. Okay. Now that they're gone. So, I didn't care a lot about it. I think I made that clear. A lot of the story just doesn't really matter to me. But I'll get to the bits that were actually important. The bits near the end game, where things actually started to kick off. So around the time you fight the Augur mini boss, you find out that RJ is actually alive. the guy who killed himself at the start. Well, not killed himself, but like the timekeeper made him stab himself. He's actually alive, and he like the game kind of plays him up like we're supposed to care about him, but I just didn't. Um, he's like, oh, I can't let you have her and stuff like that. Talking about Lilith because Lilith is back. But like he kind of just feels like I didn't care, you know. Like every time he showed up, it was kind of just like, oh, this guy. Now maybe that's just maybe that's just me. Maybe other people love him, but I don't. Now let's get back into like the actual Lilith and stuff like that. So, this is where things started to heat up. This is where I started to give a fuck. Once Amara and Zane started talking about like Lilith and Elpis. Elpis is a big thing, by the way. If you like every time you kill a boss, if you look up at Elpis, it's like broken apart more. But like Amara is convinced that Violicta has Lilith. Turns out he doesn't. He's just holding RJ, who has like Siren adjacent powers. I don't know why Borderlands have kept trying to go like, oh, boy sirens. They tried it with 3, didn't work. They're trying it here, doesn't really work. No, he's not officially a siren, but he has siren adjacent abilities. So anyway, at any point, we go to the moon. We go to Elpis. And there's like a fight there, and we go and we save Lilith. And there's this really cool scene, like there's this really cool set piece where we're in the phase dimension where Lilith is, in the center of Elpis. And we're like jumping around and we're seeing like all these bad guys that we've fought in the past and all these characters and stuff. And she's talking to us because like apparently she's like, time is really messed up for her. She's been seeing things in the future and the past and stuff like that. And then like we save her and they changed her looks, which I don't approve of. Her eyes are too round. She looks like she's been Fortnite-ified, right? You know how Fortnite has that very like unique look of like big eyes and like way too soft features? That I don't know. She feels wrong, and her hair is way longer, which like I just could not stop thinking about it being matted. Like she really needs to wash it because it comes down to like lower back now. It cannot be clean after being, because it's like 6 years between Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 4. Borderlands 3 and Borderlands 4, sorry. So like being gone for 6 years without washing your hair, rough. But yeah, we get her back, and that was about the time that I started to give a fuck, because I'm like, Lilith, that's our girl, let's go, let's fucking, a character I give a shit about. And we get her back, and like that's really fucking fun. And the end of the quest, towards the end of the game, they're talking about how like there's I think they make mentions of like there's a war coming, which has been a thing since like Borderlands the pre-sequel. And it's like, when the fuck are you actually going to get to this war you've been hyping up for the past like 3 games, you know? Or 2 games, I can't remember. But, you know, the war doesn't actually happen. And then like the balancing of enemies kind of fucks you up towards the end. So like I power leveled to level 50. I just went and fucked up a whole bunch of bosses, just kept like, spent like, you know, over 100 grand just doing the boss replays, to like level myself up, because the enemy AI, just regular, are like, there's like guaranteed, even if you're at max level, there will always be like level 51 or level 52 enemies, that just exist for like difficulty, right? However, that doesn't really scale for bosses, because like at a certain point, I was level 50 fighting the Timekeeper, who's like the big bad, and like I didn't even die once, you know? He has 2 phases, I didn't die once on either of them. I went down, I think once, but I didn't die. And then you fight RJ at the end. Still, didn't go down. Because I was so over-leveled, because they make it feel like you kind of need to be. which does kind of leave you with that's it, you know, at the end of the fight. God, I've been talking for 30 minutes. Shit. So yeah, basically, that's it. Now, closing thoughts. If you liked Borderlands 2, you're going to love the style of this game. I didn't play Borderlands too much, so I can't vouch for that, but from what I've heard, the general consensus, if you liked Borderlands 2, you're going to enjoy this. I had a lot of fun with this. The fighting is fucking fun. Jumping around, shooting, throwing grenades. It's classic Borderlands in the best way possible, with all the upgrades of 3. Splendid. You know, love it. The quests, the side quests are really funny sometimes. I just realized this probably isn't going to be able to closing thoughts section. This is going to be a little bit more. But there was a quest specifically that I can remember where Zane and Levane like, Zane's talking about how he's going to leave because, like, he's got Lilith back and everything, and they're just going to, like, him, Amara, and Lilith are just going to fuck off into the stars. And he's, like, talking about breaking up with her, and, like, I'm a sucker for love, you know, so it really, like, hit me in my chest. When they were talking, it really did sad. It saddened me. Big sad. So yeah. Okay, now, is there anything else that I can think that might need to be added? I say, yeah, if you've got a decent computer, buy it. I'll also be covering the DLCs when they come out, because I did buy the most expensive edition, because I'm a moron. But yeah, I enjoyed the game. The map could have been better. It was quite buggy. It has like issues running for a lot of people. And yeah. If you have a decent rig, run it, but don't expect high frames if you don't want to use DLSS. Cast are always good as always. Oh, one last thing. There's a severe lack of, like, those intro cutscenes for, like, bosses and stuff like that, which meant I didn't care for a whole bunch of them, you know? There was no, like, boom and boom or anything like that. So, yeah. Anyway. I'm gonna end this before I keep rambling and this turns into another, like, several hour long thing. TLDR, I'd give it about a 7? Maybe an 8, honestly. But, yeah. This is gonna have no editing because I don't know how to edit. And, yeah. Thanks for watching. I'm sorry if it wasn't up to your standards. But yeah, give the game a shot if you can.